Welcome everyone to the Ordinary Council meeting of the Wellington Shire for the 2nd of April 2024. Members of the public gallery should note that Council records and publishes Council meetings via YouTube to enhance the accessibility of Council meetings to the broader Wellington community. These recordings are also archived and may be published on Council's website for viewing by the public or use for publicity or information purposes. At the appropriate times during the meeting, members of the gallery may address the Council, at which time their image, comments or submissions will be recorded. Members of the public who are not in attendance at the Council meeting but who wish to communicate with the Council via the online web form should lodge their questions or comments early in the meeting to ensure that their submissions can be dealt with at the end of the meeting. Please, could gallery visitors, councillors and invited online attendees ensure that mobile phones and other electronic devices are turned off or in silent mode for the duration of the meeting. Wellington Shire Council acknowledges our offices are located on the traditional lands of the Gunai-Kurnai Nation. We pay our deep respects to their elders past, present and future and acknowledge their ongoing cultural and spiritual connections to their land and waters. We have one apology tonight, which is Councillor Tatterson. Everyone else is present. Is there any declaration of conflicts of interest? No. Item 3, adoption of minutes of previous council meetings. Someone to move that, please. Councillor Wood.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that Council adopt the minutes and resolutions of the Ordinary Council meeting of the 19th of March 2024.
And seconded by Councillor Rossetti. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Happy with that, Councillor Wood?
Thank you, Mayor.
Item 4, business arising, we have none. Item 5, late or acceptance late or urgent items, we have none. Item 6, notice of motion, we have none. Item 7.1, outstanding petitions. We'll go through the Mafeking Hill Corella issue later, and Falls Lane Bundalega will do it next meeting. Item 8, invited addresses, presentations or acknowledgements. Do we have any? Councillor Ripper.
Thank you, Mayor. If you'd like to bear with me, I have 2 acknowledgements. First of all, I was invited a fortnight ago to go to Celebrating Future Proof project in the Wellington Shire. It was facilitated by Kaya and Jara, who are Kaya is our Youth Project Officer, Future Proof, Jara Youth Engagement Trainee, and they both work within the Social Connection and Inclusion team. About Future Proof. Future Proof is a federal government-funded project that was created in response to the 2019-20 bushfires and is focused on young people aged 12 to 25 in natural disaster-affected areas. We have achieved great achievements in Wellington Shire by supporting young people to grow their skills, connect with their community and gain qualifications related to community services and emergency management. The engagement was over a 15-month period that Wellington had been involved in Future Proof. The project had 274 young people from Coongulla, Gormandale, Sea Spray, Port Albert, Loch Sport, Yarram, Sale, Stratford and surrounds, whilst also having engagement with secondary schools. 19 young people obtained their certificate in public safety. 12 students were presented Get Ready, Get Techie, and they showed 28 of their peers how to use emergency apps. 18 young people received accidental counselling training through Red Cross. 14 students from Yarram Secondary interviewed emergency services and presented their community class projects to peers. So the future is training and education, connection and volunteering. Those young people that were involved in that, along with the 2 facilitators, have set a standard for the future of our youth. Thank you. That's my first one. And that's all. Just
Thank
checking.
you,
Thank
Councillor
you,
Ripper.
Mayor.
Is there anyone else?
Oh my God.
Anyone else?
Thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Mackenzie.
I have 2.
Are you sure about that?
I've got them written down. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the Yarraman District first grade cricket team that not only this year joined the Sale and Mafra Cricket Association and in their first year defeated traditional league powerhouse Stratford by 49 runs. First year, first flag. What a great result for Yarraman District. Yarraman was sent in the bat at Stevenson Park in Sale and set Stratford a total of to chase of 8 wickets for 174 runs from their 80 overs. Stratford were all out for 125 runs in the 55th over. Man of the match was Daniel O'Keefe for his all-round brilliance in taking 5 for 31 and scoring 44 with the bat. This result will only propel cricket within Yarraman District, as it was only 5 years ago that the Alberton Cricket Association was disbanded, leaving players to relocate to other associations. However, with some strong leadership, teams re-emerged, resulting in the formation of the Pelicans and their new home at Yarram Rec Reserve. Now Yarraman District have set the benchmark for all future grade teams, and we look forward to them achieving great results in 2025 and beyond for many years to come. Acknowledgement number 2.
You sure?
Easter in Wellington. This time last year, small steps were taken to reopen Easter after COVID, with still certain controls in place and crowds limited. What a change to Easter 18 months can make. The weather in Wellington was fantastic, with events from Yarram to Dargo, and families and visitors all had a wonderful weekend to remember. In Yarram, the Tara Festival had a crowd of over 3,000, with fun for everyone from children to granddads and grandmums alike. Then Port Albert on the Sunday had live music and stalls in the park, followed by the lighting of the Watersea Lantern Parade that night. On Monday night, Win News did a segment on Port Albert and the Philippine community Hello Hello dancers that performed at the Tara Festival, advising that over the weekend crowds exceeded 8,000. What a great success. Moving further up the road, Seaspray had the Easter Art Show, Golden Beach, the end of summer surf fishing carnival, Lock Sport, community house, coin and collectibles fair, Easter hunt and raffle at the Woodside Beach Caravan Park, live bands and acts at Woodside Hotel, Dargo Hotel, Jack Ryan's Hotel and Mafeking, with market days at Stratford and Coongulla, and a kids' day out at the Greyhound Sales Club. To organise any event, yet so much over our Shire, is a real credit to all those associations, clubs and businesses, and on behalf of my fellow councillors, I say thank you. To all the volunteers that spent many hours from Good Friday to Easter Monday to make each event a success, a huge thank you. Easter 24 was a huge success. Our Shire was abuzz and happiness and excitement, and look forward to Easter 2025. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Mackenzie. Item 9, questions or notice, we have none. Item 10, delegates reports, we have none. Item 11.1, Assembly of Council reports. Someone to move that, please.
I'm happy to move that. I move that Council note and receive the attached Assembly of Councillor records for the period 11th of March 2024 to the 24th of March 2024.
And seconded by Councillor Rossetti. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried.
I am happy to just mention that under the Local Government Act of 2020, Council does not have to really report these meeting attendances. However, for transparency, Wellington Shire is more than happy to do that. So you can look at the attachments and you will see that the Strategic Land Use Planning Project Review Group met on the 12th of March. We had an Assembly of Council Day on the 19th of March, and the Municipal Emergency Management Planning Committee also met on the 21st of March. So councillors certainly do a lot of other, many other meetings besides council days, and I just want to say thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Councillor Marr. Item 11.2, S11B, Instrument of Appointment and Authorisation, Environment Protection Act 2017. Someone to move that, please. Councillor Crosley.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that Council, in the exercise of the powers conferred by Section 224 of the Local Government Act 1989 and the other legislation referred to in the attached S11B Instrument of Appointment and Authorisation, the instrument, resolve that 1, the specified officer be appointed and authorised as set out in the instrument as provided in attachment 11.2.1, and 2, the instrument be signed by the Chief Executive Officer.
And seconded by Councillor Marr. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Crosley.
Thank you. This instrument of appointment is just to streamline the current system, just to improve the process and to have a single instrument encompassing all environmental health officers. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Crosley. Item 12.1, proposed lease and easement of 14 Velore Road, Kilmany. Someone to move that, please.
Yes, Mayor. I move that 1, council resolve to commence the statutory processes required for the creation of an easement on council property described as Part 14 Velore Road, Kilmany, and Reserve 1, private road, 14 Velore Road, Kilmany, as shown in the attached plans. 2, council advertises its intention to create a lease and easement in favour of AusNet Electricity Services Proprietary Limited, subject to the provisions of Section 114 and 115, Local Government Act 2020, including calling for submissions in relation to the proposal. 3, subject to not receiving any submissions, council authorises the Chief Executive Officer to finalise the creation of easement, including executing necessary documents.
And seconded by Councillor Wood. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Rossetti, happy with that? Item 13.1, response to petition, Mafeking Hill Corella issue. Someone to move that, please. Councillor Ripper.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that Council note that the Chief Executive Officer has written to the Department Energy and Climate Action, DECA, as a responsible authority seeking advice in relation to the management of Corella populations across urban areas of Wellington Shire.
And seconded by Councillor Wood. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Ripper.
Thanks, Mayor. Just a short history. I was wondering, Mafeking apparently is how you pronounce the name, Mafeking Hill, Mafra. The name Mafeking is place of stones, giving an indication of the hard rocky surface of the ground that yielded nothing but their grass and stunted shrubs. Also, Mafeking is a locality in Victoria, southeast of the Grampians Park. More info on Mafeking can be gained from the local Historic Society in Mafra or Google. At the meeting, the council meeting held on the 5th of March 2024, council received a petition regarding issues with Corellas at Mafeking Hill, Mafra. In Victoria, recent years have seen Corella populations grow and disperse broadly across the rural landscape, moving to areas where traditionally Corellas have been absent or in very low numbers. Key contributing factors to this change include urbanisation of the species' former range, agricultural land use changes, and climate change impacts on Corella habits. In Mafra and the broader Wellington Shire, the population of Corellas has increased significantly over the past decade and noted over the last 40 years. The level of increase can be quantified, however, anecdotal evidence suggests that its broader climate and land use changes appear to have coincided with the local population growth. It is noted that the sense of population explosion is simply a normal part of annual animal behaviour and can arrive and dissipate with passing seasons and birth life cycles. Corellas are native wildlife and protected under Wildlife Act 1975. They are a species of cockatoos and they are two distinct species, being the little Corella and the long-billed Corella. Gippsland has both species, but the little Corella is the predominant subject species of this report and community interest. It is an offence to destroy, take control of wildlife without authority. DECA is responsible for the Act, for policy and strategy relating to the species and responsible for wildlife in Victoria. Corella population expansion is recognised as having potential efforts that include direct economic impacts on agriculture, economic and social impacts on private and public infrastructure, impacts on environmental assess and impacts on communities related to damage and noise. In late 2023, the DECA released the Victorian Corella Strategy 2022-23 to outline roles, responsibilities and strategic actions to the management of Corella impacts through community-owned solutions. The focus of this strategy is on minimising economic impact to agriculture and infrastructure. Managing impacts on communities predominantly focused on raising community awareness and education and supporting community-based approaches to manage the Corella impacts. The strategy promotes heavily through several listed actions a need for community education and awareness raising regarding living with Corellas. The strategy identifies the need to establish and maintain community partnerships and encourage the implementation of integrated approaches to Corella management. A range of methods to manage issues caused by Corellas is provided in the strategy. Broadly, these interventions can be categorised as 1, scaring program, Corella-proofing, exclusion, infrastructure planning, food sources modification, barriers and screening. Officers have reviewed the suite of management interventions, including examples and suggestions provided, and note that none of the interventions are suitable for the Mafeking Hill location. Most of the interventions are applicable to agricultural areas with sparse urbanisation or to new areas where infrastructure deterrence or 3 species selection are in the design and planning phase. The most likely option of a scaring program using scare guns is unworkable in the urban context due to Environmental Protection Authority, the EPA, regulations preventing the use of scare guns earlier than 7 a.m. in the morning or later than sunset, nor within 300 metres of complainants. Furthermore, officer assessment is that the Mafra Township context or any township that the noise or scare guns would travel much further than 300 metres, only resulting in a substitution of any amenity issued. Deterrent would only likely achieve a movement of Corellas to other urban parks, thereby not serving as a resolution and transferring any issues. Lethal control is the final option of consideration and could only be considered for authorisations from DECA. It is not preferred, raises matters of animal welfare and does not achieve the strategic object of a living with wildlife approach as outlined in both the State Protection Victoria's Environment Biodiversity 2037 strategy and the Victorian Corella Strategy 2022-2032. Council officers have also recently received an expression of interest request from DECA seeking nominations to join a Corella Strategy Working Group hosted by them. The aim of the working group will be to discuss Corella management issues, share experiences and explore management solutions in alignment with principles and actions of the Corella strategy. Officers have responded to this offer and expressed interest in joining the working group. Thank you, Mayor. That is 2 pages long, but I think it's very pertinent for those that have put in the complaint. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ripper. Item 13.2, Quarterly Capital Report. Someone to move that, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Councillor Stevens.
I'd like to move the Council no changes to the 2023-2024 adopted capital works budget of $3,083,458. Didn't say that very well. Made since the end of October 2023, resulting in an adjusted capital works budget of $51,679,515, as shown in attachment 13.21, which also includes projects that have been deferred or cancelled for reasons as shown.
And seconded by? Oh, I had 4 then. I don't think Councillor Crosley has seconded one tonight, so Councillor Crosley seconded that one. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Stevens.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As part of the annual budgeting process, Council from time to time receives reports from the officers in relation to changes to capital works projects, and this is one of those occasions. If you look at the attached summary, Mayor, you will see that some projects have been internal adjustments in the library budget. There were a number of adjustments within the Roads to Recovery program, where some projects have been replaced with others or had their budgets altered to accommodate projects that we need to complete in this financial year. And I note there are a couple of large projects which we obviously applied for funds, and unfortunately these projects weren't funded, so we have had to cancel those projects. So this is just one of those regular machinery reports to Council where we do adjustments to our capital works budget. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Stevens. Item 14.1, Community Asset Committee's Annual Report 2022/23. Someone to move that, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move that Council 1 receive and note an annual report highlighting the activities and performance of the 5 Community Asset Committees for the period 2022-23, and 2, acknowledges the volunteer contribution made by the Community Asset Committee members during this period.
And second by Councillor Marr. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Ripper.
Thank you, Mayor, and bear with me. I'm going to read this, I think is very pertinent too. The probably 2 and a bit pages. So the background, Section 65 of the Local Government Act 2020, the Act provides for councils to establish community asset committees for the purpose of managing assets within the municipality, and requires the CEO to submit an annual report to council in relation to the activities and performance of these committees. The following community asset committees are currently established in accordance with the provision of the Act. We have Bryagalong Recreation Reserve Committee, Cameron Sporting Complex Committee, which is in Maffra, Gordon Street Recreation Reserve Committee, which is Hayfield, Maffra Recreation Reserve Committee and Newry Recreation Reserve Committee. Council acknowledges and appreciates the commitment of these community volunteers in supporting the management and operation of these important community assets. The report summarised the activities and performance of these community asset committees during 22-23. For this report, activities and summaries of general information and key achievements provided by the committees, whilst performance has been assessed against the powers, duties and functions formally delegated to the members. First up, the Bryagalong Rec Reserve. The cash reserves, the committee has approximately $35,000 in cash reserve. The key achievements during the reporting period, the committee has completed an upgrade of the Pony Club facilities and upgrades to the tennis court facilities and infrastructure. Performance. The committee have identified the need for more members to contribute towards the maintenance and upkeep of the reserve. It is currently largely left to 1 member. Despite regular requests and support, the committee has not operated within the requirements of its delegation. As the required reporting has not been provided, the committee's 2023-24 risk and management subsidy is withheld until the reporting period is brought up to date. So there's a story there at Bryagalong. They need more volunteers. Cameron Sporting Complex Committee. Cash reserves are $105,000 in cash reserves. Key achievement. During the reporting period, the committees have completed projects including installation, solar system and renewable of the cricket nets. Participation levels at the reserve in basketball, cricket, football, gymnastics have returned to or exceeded pre-COVID-19 levels. The performance of the committee has been able to operate within the powers of duty and functions delegated to its members, including hold an AGM and regular general meetings. The committee are receiving additional support to bring essential safety measures, ESM items, up to date. The Gordon Street Reserve, cash reserves of $17,000. Key achievements. During the reporting period, the committee has supported roof repairs being undertaken on the building, which allowed for a solar system to be installed. They have performed with some additional support. The committee have been able to operate within the powers, duties and functions delegated to its members, including hold an AGM and regular general meetings. The Mafra Rec Reserve, cash reserves of $91,000. During the reporting period, the committee have supported the completion of a number of projects, including the netball court upgrade, dome project and media box. Significant events have also been held at the reserve, including the Mafra Agricultural Show and an international dog show. The performance has been able to operate within the powers, duties and functions delegated to its members, including holding an AGM and regular general meetings. The Newry Rec Reserve Committee, cash reserves of $14,000. Their key achievement is the committee has worked through some significant maintenance issues and has developed a future plan for the works, which is the committee is also working towards and is well on the way of relocating the Newry Golf Course and recreation club rooms, as the golf course itself forms part of the reserve, and there is a golf club representation on the committee. Their performance, despite having a small committee membership, the committee has been able to operate within the powers, duties and functions delegated to its members, including holding an AGM and regular general meetings. And Mayor, if I may, I think I'm 3 of those committees, and fourth one, I was on one of the committees. They've all worked very hard, and it's all those volunteers who put in their time to keep all these going. So thank you very much. I know it was long, but once again, it was very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you, Councillor Ripper. Item 14.2, quick response grants. If I go someone to move that, please. Councillor Mackenzie. Councillor Mackenzie, would you be able to start again and turn your microphone on, please?
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor. I wish to move that Council note the information regarding applications received under the Quick Response Grant Scheme, QRGS, for the period November 2023 to March 2024, attachment 14.2.1.
And seconded by Councillor Crosley. Is that motion opposed? If not, that motion is carried. Councillor Mackenzie.
Thank you, Mayor. Between the period November 2023 to March 2024, Council provided funds to community bodies and individuals totalling $56,323.37. And you can tell by the list that there was a number of bodies that are very good at doing these quick release response grants. So I'd like to take this opportunity just to advise what the criteria is for quick release response grants. Our quick release response grant scheme encourages community outcomes in line with Council's Wellington 2031 vision, the Council Plan of 2021 to 25 and the Healthy Wellington 21 to 25. It aims to build community capacity by encouraging participation and inclusion, growing community partnerships, providing learning opportunities, supporting social connectedness, and activating our community spaces such as parks, halls and other facilities. Importantly, the funds are not available for scholarships, awards, trophies or prizes for participating and or attending activities that deliver a direct and focused religious or political party message, activities associated with or hosted at areas, facilities with or designed for gaming machines, gambling and betting. Mayor, as I said before, there is a number of key groups that apply for grants on a regular basis, and I encourage all towns and groups to apply. One thing about the grants is, if we compare to both the federal and state government at this point, grants are very hard to come by, and I'm honoured and pleased, and I'm sure on behalf of my fellow councillors, that we have not reduced any of our grant funding, which is fantastic in this current environment. And I really believe that local government is the community's government, and I really think that, you know, as a Shire, we do very well for our community. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Mackenzie. We have no one in the gallery. Acting CEO, is there any online?
No, Mayor, there is none.
There is none. In that case, I'll declare the meeting closed at 5:30. Thank you, everyone.